Hello everyone, welcome to the Mercury Virtual. Hope you are doing good. Today I am going to continue with your same module, that is employability and the professional development, but the new concept, but the new section, that is section number 5, that is a conclusion and the recommendations. So in the last class we have discussed, or we have completed the section number 4, that is how to develop the employability in the higher education institutions. Now today I am going to continue, or we can say the finish this module, finish this book of, or this module book, then start that is a section number 5, that is the conclusions and the recommendations, right? So let's start with the previous class session what we have covered in the last class, then moves to today's topic, that is section number 5, that is the conclusions and the recommendation. So let's start with the section number 4, that is developing the employability and the professional development, or developing the employability in the higher education institutions. So what is a higher education institution? That provides the facility, or that is a facility that is given by the employer, that is given by the, we can say, the architects who are giving the employability content, who are giving the employability criteria, that is a higher education. So develop the employability skills in the higher education institution. So higher education has developed students employability, that is in simple terms, how student can get engaged within the higher education, that is how they can get engaged within the higher education that is close with the higher education facilities. So I'm developing the employability within the higher education institution, that is used for the higher education, that is a very good control that is available in the higher good education. So employability, higher education has always developed the employability skill that is also used in the higher education capabilities. So it has developed student employability, but now it is doing in this the explicit and the systematic manner. That is the higher education has always developed the students employability. So whenever there will be a, you are doing the BTEC course, that is a higher education course that develop the employability skills, but now it is used, but now it is doing in more explicit and the systematic way, that is a more refined way that is used, and in close collaboration with the employer. So there will be a close collaboration with the employer, close collaboration with the employees, that is used, that is a higher education institution that provides the employability among the higher education institutions. So now it is doing in a more explicit and the systematic way, and there is a close relationship or the close collaboration with the different employees. So higher education institutions in the UK has also become, or have also played an important role in developing the employability. And the last 5 years has shown a drastic change or drastic engagement with all the three aspects of the employability agenda. What are the three main aspects of the employability skills? One is the developing the student's attribute. That is develop the student attribute, then develop the student self-presentation skill, then developing the student's flexibility and willingness to continue the learning. So there are three parts. One is the student attributes, one is the student self-presentation, one is the student's flexibility and the willingness to continue learning. So these are the three parts of the employability, these are the three aspects of the employability agenda, these are the three main content of the employability agenda. So some initiatives are the course specific and some are the institution wide development that is also used, but the main agenda is that there are three types of, or there are three aspects of the employability agenda that is used. One is the developing the student's attribute, that is the main aim. One is developing the student's self-presentation skills. One is developing the or improve or developing the student's flexibility and the willingness to continue learning. So there are three parts. One is the self-awareness or the self-presentation skills. One is the attributes. One is the flexibility and the willingness to learn or continue learning, that is designed to ensure that they continue to be employable. And some initiative that is taken, that are the some are the specific or course specific, and some are the institution wide development, such as the establishment of development or progress file or the development of career education modules. Some activities, for example, target underrepresented groups, while other enable the self employment for the small business incubation. Now, employability is about the attribute development, building confidence and self-promotional skills, and increasing the lifelong learning. So whatever the attribute, whatever the employability skill that is used, that is defined about attribute development, that is used for the attribute development, then building the confidence, then self-promotion skills, there are some self-promotion skills, and increasing the lifelong learning. So that is the employability, that is all about the attribute development, all about the confidence, all about the self-promotion skill and the lifelong learning. Then we will discuss about the system-wide exceptions that is also used, that is a result of the work that is used by the higher education agency, that are the various, there are various, we can say the well-known funding council that is used for the Wales, and the Welsh Developing Agency that is used for the publication of the future skills fields, that undertook an employability um, of the higher education institution in the HEFCW, that is the Higher Education Funding or Higher Education Funding Council for the Wales. And this revealed that the considerable work was being done in all the areas, that is most institutions do not overall strategy for the development of the employability. And since the audit institution have been asked to provide the work experience and the employability plan, that is the WEEPS, with a focus on developing all the three strands that is available in the high education availability. And the system-wide approach to increasing the employability development has been successful in the ways. There should be a system-wide acceptance that is available, that is, should be a system-wide acceptance we can say the approach that is used to encourage the employability development that is successful in the Wales, that is the University of the Birmingham. And there has been or there has not been an equivalent system-wide employability approach in the England that is used with the or that is employable or that is we can say the used in collaboration with the DE or DFES. And if there is a lack of the system-wide approach that led some institution to develop their own criteria. And a new approach that is supported by the senior management is also given a strategic aim that now provides a basis for developing the activities, because everyone can now see where everything fits together and where how the employability is integrated to the learning and the teaching strategies. The next is a range of activities, that is what are the various range of activities, the diverse range of employability that contains various activity within the institution that can be categorized into four basic or four broad areas. So there are four broad areas that is used with the employability skills. Now what are the various four broad areas? First is enhance or revise the central support, that is enhancing or revise the central support, that is usually the career services for the graduate and the undergraduate in their search of work. That is there are multiple revised courses or central support for the graduate persons as well as the undergraduate persons who is running the courses, who is doing the courses. Then also next task is or next activity is embedding the attribute development. Then innovative provisions of the work experiences opportunity that is also available. Then enable the reflection. So these are the four activities that is covered, that is a range of activities that provides employability activities within the institution that is divided into four categories. So there is more integrated approach with the central support services working with the program staff to develop, identify and record the skills and the ability. So there is a more integrated approach, or there is a we can say the systematic approach that is used with the central support services that works with the program staff to develop, identify, that is how to develop, then identify and records the skills and the attribute that is needed for the employability. Then there will be a central support that is usually in the form of career services that is undertaken, that is used in the mid-90s, that consists of the various careers that is used with the sessions for the student approaching graduations. So central services has been transformed over the last 5 years. There has been a increment, or we can say the enhancement in the central services over the last 5 years, and they are no longer marginal to the learning. So there is no longer marginal to the learning that is also available with the central services. And this change will continue in the wake of the Harris report that reviewed higher education career services and made a series of recommendations that is designed to raise the standard. So whatever the standard that is available, that is raised by the central support services, that is transformed over the last 5 years. Now these are the three terms that is used. One is the attribute development, one is the self promotion and the career management, one is willingness to learn and reflect on the learning. This is we have discussed, that is a holistic development of the employability. One is the attribute development, one is the self promotion and the career management, one is the willingness to learn and reflect on the learning. An important initiative in supporting the disadvantaged student is the Association of the Graduate Careers Advisory Group, that is the AGCAS. Then minority ethnic recruitment, then information training and the support, that is a merits project which works with the black and the Asian students and graduates who tend to be disadvantaged in the job market. So whatever the job market that is used, that is intended to provide the initiative in the job market. The program involves several institutions including the Southampton Institution, Manchester Metropolitan, and the De Montfort universities. And the group of universities in the is used that is known as that is also develop a similar initiative that is known as the Impact, that provide the tailored support for the student to develop their employability skill. That is the Impact that is also used to develop the employability skill through the confidence mentoring and the workshop. There are multiple criteria that is used to generate the or that is used to gain the employability skills. And next is complementing support, that is also used for the disadvantaged student, that is also support for the SMEs, that is the graduate for the graduate or graduation for the growth. And the similar named project were devised and developed by the Foundation for SME project, that is also used at the University of Durham, which involves institutions in the northeast and aim to develop the graduate talent and widen their career opportunities. And it also offers the local SME lasting benefits through the employment of the graduates. So employment is also provided through the NES or the SMEs. Then career services are not only the organization that provides general support, there are multiple CARASE that is also used that provide the benefit to the program. Then we have also discussed about the University of Birmingham, we can say the example, that is how the University of the Birmingham provide the course that provide the technical skills, but also produces the graduate who have something extra, that is a media related job, that is a media related concept, that is also the high, we can say the add-on facility that is provided to the students. So whenever they are using the or whenever they are doing the higher education jobs or whenever they are learning the higher education, so they are also learning the media related concepts, so that if they are going for an interview that is a media related job, they can easily crack the interview and do the task in the companies. Next is the academic and the vocational. This is the placement partnership that is also used in the responding to the reality. So employability is developed through balancing the academic and the vocational recruitment. So there should be a proper balance between the academic and the vocational requirement, and the development of links between the university and the local and the national employer. So there should be a proper link between the university of the local and the national employer, and there should be a flexible attitude towards the needs of the student on the course. Next is the example of the University of the Liverpool. That is the next example. That is how the University of the Liverpool can make the advantages. That is the University of Liverpool. The student learn about the ethics of equal opportunity, volunteering, and by practicing or practical issues of working with the range of the organizations. Student can also learn while doing the higher education courses. Student can learn about the ethics of the equal opportunity. There should be equal opportunity among the student. That is also a part of the equal opportunities. That is volunteering and the practical issues of the working with the range of the organization. That should be a proper practical knowledge of the we can say the courses that provide the practical knowledge that of the students with the student that works with the range of the organizations. This is a voluntary service based background that we have studied. This is the application of theory in the practice. So the student can also use the LC or LFCA, that is Liverpool Student Community Action, that is a part of the guild of the student, that is provide the equal opportunity among the voluntary and the practical issue of working with the range of the organization. And there are multiple assessment criteria that is also used for the skill development, and there will be electronic support that is also used for the skill development, that is using the web-based scenario for the skill development, that is LUSID, that is the Liverpool University Student Interactive Database, that is the LUSID, Liverpool University Student Interactive Database, that has three main elements. That is also used for the recording section, that contains a template for the interactive or the reflective learning log, that is a customizable skills audit, that is used for the network, teamwork, communication, and the information retrieval. So employability is also achieved or enhanced, and there should be a proper placement opportunity that is also used or that is also organized through the Liverpool student community actions. And there should be an evaluation, that is the first year modules are also offered, that is evaluated between the 30 students among the over the minimum 12 over maximum the 30 students. Then next is the crux, that is employability is achieved by working with the guild of the student, utilizing the LUSID database effectively, then using a range of training and assessment methods. So either using the LUSID, either using the assessment method, either work with the guild of the students. Next is the career management that we have discussed. So should be a proper training of, that is provided to the student about the career management also, that is how to manage their career, how to manage the life between the professional life and the personal life. So there is career management concept that is also a program that is a pioneer in encouraging the student to begin to learn or plan and manage their future career early on while at the university. So there should be a proper training that will be issued to the student, that is how to manage their resources, how to manage the resources among the students so that they will manage the career. That is a career management skill program that is encouraging the student to begin to plan and manage their future career aspects. And recent development includes the career management skills that is also used, that is designed to help the student and the graduate, that is how to gather the student capabilities. Then next is the central support for embedding the employability in the curriculum. So that is what is a central support that is providing or that is used for the embedding the employability in the curriculum. There should be central support that is also providing in the curriculum. The next is the embedding the employability in the curriculum. So one is a central support for embedding the employability. Now embedding the employability in the curriculum. So more and more program is revised or include the employability element along with the subject line learning. Then this is the example of the University of the North London. This is also a example that shows how the placement plays or how the placement provides a vital component of the employer input. So placement provides a very good role in the higher education. So if the student knows that there should be a placement in the university, so the student can get enroll in the higher education and also get the employability skills within the higher education. So School of the Health and the Sports Science or reasons that is used. So involving the employers also, that the support of the or support and the cooperation of the employers is integral to the module cooperation or module operation, and there should be a good working relation that has been established among the student, among the various employer and the employees, which is available to all the undergraduate at the university. And the psychology of the consumer analyst module involve the student undertaking placement with the company and then conducting the independent small scale business or consumer research projects. And it is a practical approach, we can say the practical opportunity that helps the student to develop and apply the theoretical knowledge that is acquired during the degree. That is this course provides the theoretical knowledge as well as the practical knowledge, that is how to use the employability skills among the students. And they produce two written reports on their findings. One is academic one is a commercial report for their organizations. And they also give an in-company presentation. That is, in-company presentation means multiple persons joined together, that is known as the in-company presentation. And the experiences prepare them for graduate employment and provide them with the vital constructive employer input. Now next is involving the employer, that is involving the employer also plays an important role. Delivery, that is the start of the 12-week assignment, and what are the various outcomes, output that is available. So employability is developed through the active engagement with the employer. So employability is developed with the active engagement with the employer. So students get or the employees get active engaged with the employer, then the employer assessment and the feedback, then the self-reflection and developing the time management and the communication skills, and the putting theory into the practical real scenarios. This is the next example in which the multiple we can say the student can participate or can join together to involve the various curriculum activities. So employability is developed through the academic recognition of the value of the work experience and training students as a mentor. So there should be a relationship between the mentor and the mentee. Some people join together to become a mentor, and some people join together to become a mentee, and both the groups, mentors group as well as the mentee groups, we can say gain their knowledge, share their knowledge among each other. So employability is developed through the academic recognition of the value of the work and also train the student as a mentor. Next is employability audit. So there should be a, we can say the checking purpose that is known as employability audit, that is also provided with the students. That is the employability audit that is also occupied within the student, that is checking of the employability content. And what are the various outcomes and the benchmark that is also used with the employability skills? That is the integration of the skill in the curriculum, that is aided by the reconstructing of the program to identify the outcome or take account of the quality assurance agency, that is a QAA, to some extent, that involves a pedagogical shift. For example, academic department at the University of the Wales that provides a clear statement about the employment aims of each program and explain how these are to be achieved. Then pedagogy development and manage the learning environment, that is the next part. So employability in the curriculum takes many forms. The next is the work experience, that is also seen as a major vehicle to enable the students to make connection between their academic study and the world of work. So what's the relationship between the academic study and the world of work? That also familiarize themselves with the skills necessary to be effective in the work setting. And the Daring report also places a considerable emphasis on the work experience, concluding that the student can benefit from the experience in many different settings, structured and the informal, paid and the unpaid. So there are many work experience that is shared among the student, either that may be of any form, that may be of we can say the structured, informal, paid, unpaid, any form that is provided by the student. And so work experience is currently the main vehicle for the student to develop the employability skill. So some students are working somewhere, also learning somewhere, also pursuing the higher education. For example, you are my students, you are pursuing the higher education course, that is this course, while you are working somewhere. So that is the main vehicle for student to develop the employability skills. You are gaining the knowledge, you are also working somewhere. So you make a balance between the knowledge, or you can put the knowledge in the we can say the working area. So that is a main vehicle for the student to develop the employability skills. Next are the types of work experiences, that is what are the various types of work experiences. That is organized work experience as a part of the program of study, then organized work experience external to the program of study, then ad hoc work experience as the program of the study. So there are many different types of work experiences that is included. That is the part-time work that is unconnected to a program of the study, and this is one of the example that is discussed, that is the University of the East London. So employability is developed through balancing and connecting the academic and the vocational requirements. So there should be a proper balance between the academic and the vocational requirements. Then recognizing the value of work experience in today's degree of program. Then flexibility of attitude towards the need of the student on the course. So whatever the attitude that is provided, that is the need of the student on the course. Then there will be a TCS that forges the link between the companies and the higher education. Then next is the graduate to the associate, that is also a TCS associate, that is also employed by the knowledge based partner but located at the company and paid an industrial salary. Then what are the various benefits to the company that is also provided? That is provided by the DTI. So employability is enhanced by finding the right graduate for the right job. So employability is enhanced means employability is developed by finding the right graduate for the right jobs, by working at both the national and the regional level, then demonstrating to business the usefulness and cost effectiveness of the scheme, then building the link between the universities and the businesses. So there will be a proper link that is generated between the companies or between the universities and the businesses. Then conventional programs plus the work experience, that is the combination of the conventional plus the work experiences. The next is the organized work experience, that is external to the program of study, that is also external, that is not a part of the study. So more and more institutions are giving formal credit for the learning from the volunteering and the part-time job. So more and more institutions are providing the formal credit of the learning for the learning, that is the formal credit that is provided by the learning from volunteering and the part-time work. Then the ad hoc work experience, that is external to the program of study. So about 60% of full-time students work during term time, and most universities run job shops. Then endorsement of the work experience, that is how to endorse the work experience. So work experience can also help the students develop and gives them an advantage in the labor market. That is a work experience that helps the student how to develop and how to give an advantage in the labor market. Now next is recording and reflecting on achievement, that is how to record and how to reflect an achievement, that is also used. So two major complementary development has been occurred over the last 5 years. First is the provision of the support to help the student reflect on the work experience and identify the learning from it. The second is the development of the progress files. Now, first point is a meaningful experience. So if the work experience is meaningful or relevant to the future career development, then it appears to be more useful and effective as a learning tool. So it appears to be more effective in the learning tool that is also used, that is a part of the employability skills that is used for enhancing the career prospects. That is a meaningful experience. Then next is the intention. That is, if the learning from the work experience is planned and intentional from the outset, so it is easier for student to reflect on it and identify what has been learned. That is the intention. That is the proper method will be used. Then the assessment and accreditation. Then the quality monitoring. There should be a monitoring of the quality also. That is the quality monitoring. Then the work experience portfolio, that is also as a reflected or also used as a reflected index. Then the reflection and the articulation, that is the ongoing process of reflection and the articulation of learning from the work experience are the we can say the benefits, or we can say vital role of the employability development. Then reflection on and articulation of the learning from work experience is pivotal to developing the employability. Then next is the progress file, that is also a part of the development framework. So progress files offer the opportunity to record a range of achievements, reflect on learning and manage the career development. That is a program or progress file that offers the opportunity, what are the various opportunities to record a range of achievement and to reflect on the learning and manage the career development. That is a PDP, that is a personal development planning, that is an important element of the progress file and should be operational across the whole we can say the whole higher education system. That is a PDP. And what is the intention of the PDP? That helps the student become more effective, independent and confident self-directed learner, understand how they are learning and relate to their learning to a wider content. Then next is the University of Glamorgan, that is the next concept that we have studied. So employability is developed through the integrity or integrated work experience and the employability strategy that is linked to the learning and the teaching. Then identify opportunity for the student to undertake the voluntary work experience that is placement relevant to their career aspiration. The next is the Edge Hill College of Heath. This is also the next example. So employability is developed through the enhanced recognition of the skills and the quality taught and developed with the subject study. So whatever the subject that is studied, that is also used with the quality and developed with the quality or subject study. Next is a manageable, so employability is also developed through a manageable and realistic assessment design that recognizes and gives academic credit for the generic skills. That is employability. The next is linking the PDP to the other features of the degree program. That is linking the personal development planning to the other features of the degree program. Next section is section number 5, that the conclusions and the recommendations. So higher education employers and the government need to engage in a wider debate about enhancing the employability among an increasingly diverse student population. So whatever, that may be a higher education, that may be a government, that may be employer, that need to engage in a wider debate, that need to engage in a debate about how to enhance the employability among an increasingly diverse student population. So there are n number of students that is available. There should be a more student employability that is used, or that should be enhanced, or there should be a more employability among an increasingly student population. That is a section number 5, that is the conclusions and the recommendations. The last half decade has been considerable proactive development of employability in the higher education institutions. So the last 5 decade has been considerable proactive development on the employability, that is there should be a proactive development of the employability in the higher education institutions, that is augmented by the collaborative activities with the employers. And these initiatives are varied in the careers or character and increasingly being integrated to the program of study rather than left to on the margin. So that is also a part of the program of the study, that is a considerable recommendation or the conclusion that is used. Furthermore, more institutions are taking a strategic approach to employability development. That is, more and more institutions are taking, or more institutions are taking a strategic approach. So more institutions have developed a strategic approach to the employability development. So the first part is, or this says, the excellent practice in the sector must be taken forward. So the excellent part is that you must be taken forward, you must be taken to the next level. However, the dynamic nature and the very diversity of the provision means that development is uneven. Some institutions are better at embedding employability in the curriculum than the others. So some institutions are providing better opportunity in the curriculum than the others. And some institutions prioritize the role of the central services. Others have an excellent relation with the employers, and others have a enormous progress in developing and acknowledging the work experience opportunity. So some have a excellent experience with the employers, and some have a relationship that has a enormous progress in developing and acknowledging the work experience opportunities. And some institutions have taken a strategic approach, which is in Wales have been encouraged by funding the council. Field is also constantly changing, and not all changes are incrementally forward. That is, not all the changes are incrementally forward. Some initiatives do not achieve their goal, and other initiatives do not achieve their goal. So some initiatives do not achieve their goal, but some initiative can achieve their goal. That is also a part. So some we can say the initiative cannot maintain a goal, and there is a long history of the funded initiative that produced a good result during the funding period, but which despite good intention failed to be embedded in the institution. Some are the fail or parts, some are the, we can say, the bad results, some have the good results, and there is a lot of information on the initiative and the activities. So there is a more and more information that is available on the initiatives and the activities, but relatively little analysis of the impact of the employability development in the analysis or in university. So there will be a little analysis of the impact of the employability development in the university, that is a little analysis, or we can say the bad impact of the employability development in the universities. So employability performance indicators are entirely inadequate as measures of the impact of such activities. So that is employability performance, that is a part, or that is the inadequate, or that provides inadequate as measures of the impact of such activities. Now next is the recommendation. So this is the conclusion of this one, that is we have to enhance the employability among the higher education, among the employers and the government institutions. Next is the recommendations. So as a result of the overview, this report provides, so as a result of the overview that is used, this report provides, and bearing in mind the excellent practice in the sector. So this report provides, and bearing in mind, that provides in mind the excellent practice in the sector, the following recommendations are made to move the employability agenda forward. So the following recommendations are used in the employability agenda forward. Now what is the main agenda? That is the higher education and its stakeholder. So whatever the stakeholder that is available within the higher education, so higher education and its stakeholder need to engage in a wider debate about the employability and the respective roles of higher education institutions. So higher education and the stakeholder need to engage in a wider approach, in a wider debate, that is wider debate about the employability, that is how to generate the employability, and the respective roles of the higher education institutions, that includes the employer, that includes the government and other parties in enhancing the employability among an increasingly diverse student population. That is the main goal, that is the main agenda, that is increase the employability among the student population, because nowadays students are increasing one by one, that is more number of students are increasing. So there should be a proper employability skills among the higher education, among the universities, among the government organization, everything there should be employability skills. Now, recommendation to the government, funding and the policy agency. That is, what are the various recommendation to the government organization, what are the recommendation to the funding organization, what are the recommendation to the policy agencies. So first is, so next is the recommendation to the government, funding and the policy agencies. That is, what are the various recommendations that is provided to the government agencies, what are the recommendations that is provided to the funding agencies as well as the policy agencies. So where the development occurs as a result of the fixed term initiatives, continuity of the funding should be provided to ensure that the employability continue to be a priority. So whatever the priority concept, whatever the theory concept that is used, that is one of the priority concept that is used as the employability funding. So that is the development occurs as a result of the fixed time initiative, that is also a part of the recommendation of the student. So there should be a development in terms of the fixed term initiatives, in terms of the continuity of the funding that should be provided to ensure the employability skill. So that should be given to ensure that the employability continues to be priority. So there should be a proper planning among the priority or among the employability skill that provides employability among the priority basis, or that provides employability skills among the priority basis. Then the combination of the short-term funding and the marginal projects and initiatives for employability should be provided. There should be no short-term funding that is used for the employability, but that must be a long-term funding. There should be a no short-term funding that is provided, that is a part of the marginal project, and the initiative for the employability should be avoided. So combination of the short-term and the marginal project and the initiative should be avoided. Then next is funding, and the funding council and the education and the department should adopt a holistic approach to employability based on a sophisticated understanding of employability and the career management needs. So funding councils and the education department should adopt a holistic approach. There should be a holistic approach, or there must be a given a holistic approach to the employability that is based on the sophisticated understanding of employment and the career management skills. That is, there should be a, or there must be a holistic approach to the that is used with the employability skill, that is used with the understanding of the employment and the career management needs. They should avoid simplistic an indicator of employability such as those based on the final or first destination returns. Then funding council and the education department should encourage and facilitates. Next point is funding council, that is the what are the funding council, that provides the fund. The funding council means the funding organizations, and the education department should encourage and facilitates a strategic approach. So that is the funding council, and the education department, whatever the education department, that should encourage and facilitates a strategic approach, as it is a practice in the veil. That is a practice in the veil, that is also provides a strategic approach, that is a practice in the veil that is given. The next point is funding council and their agencies, including the LTSN and the HCFCI Employability National Coordinated Scheme or team, that should enable and encourage the sharing of resources for the employability development. So funding council and the agencies should provide the resources, should we can say the share the resources for the employability development. So should that resources will be used as a resource for the employability development and the criteria that is used between the institutions to avoid the reinvesting the wheel. That is employability development criteria that is used with the or between the institutions. The next is government, regional development agencies and the sector skill council should encourage employers too. So whatever the government organization, whatever the regional development agencies and whatever the sector skill council, that should encourage the employers to provide work experience for the higher education students. So that provides the work experience to the higher education for the higher education students. So that we can say that government, regional development agencies and the skill or the sector skill councils should encourage the employers, should manage the employers to provide the work experience for the higher education students, so provide the, we can say, the on the job training to the higher education students, or we can say the internship that is provided to the higher education students. The next point is provides other input to the higher education provisions. So provide other input also to the higher education provision, that is that provide the facilities to the higher education persons. Then next is enable their employees to engage in the work-based learning. So enable their employees, that is they work for the work-based learning on the part-time education courses. So they work for the part-time education courses. So this is also a part of the government, regional and the sector skill council that encourage the employers to enable their employees to engage in the work-based learning, to engage in the work-based criteria on the part-time higher education courses. That is the next part, that is the seventh part. The next is the recommendations to the CSU and the other higher education sectors that is used. So these are the various seven recommendations that is provided, that is the recommendation to the government, funding and the policy agencies. Now next is the recommendations to the CSU and the higher education sector agencies. So whatever the university that is used, whatever the higher education trust that is used, so there are some recommendations that is also provided. So agencies such as the CSU should aid the sector through appropriate analysis of the labor market information to identify the business and the public sector workforce needs. So whatever the workforce need that is used, whatever the criteria that is used, that must be reflected among the students. So there must be agencies that should aid the, or agencies must aid the CSU that should aid the sector through appropriate analysis of the labor market. That is, there should be a proper analysis of the labor market information to identify the business and the public sector workforce needs. So what is the main need for the businesses, what is the main need for the public sector, that should be enforced in the workforce area or in the work area. That must be reflected. Then next is there is a need for more relevant, accessible and better targeted career education. So there is a need, or we can say there is a requirement for the more relevant, accessible and better targeted career education. Information and guidance based on the appreciation of the diversity of the graduate employment. So whatever the employment, whatever the career development that is used, whatever the higher education that is used, so there should be a better targeting among the career education institutions. Information and guidance based on an appreciation of the diversity of the graduate employment. So there is a need for the relevant, the accessible and better targeted career education that is based on the appreciation of the degree or diversity of the graduate employment, self-employment and the graduate business startup or the start criteria. The next is CSU website, that is www.prospects.ac.uk should continue to be the establishment and well-published central portal for growing number of institutional. So one of the website that is available, that is www.prospects.ac.uk. This is the website that is used, that should continue to be established. That is, there must be a provision to establish that website that help the student in publishing their central portal for the growing number of students and the national website for both the students and the employers. The next is NUS, AIE, SEC and other agencies should explore how their established skill trackers can be made compatible with the development of progress file. That is how the established skill tracker, how the tracker should be used or can be made compatible with the development of progress files. The next is higher education funding councils, education department and the research program should support research into the impact of established initiatives. So whatever the higher education criteria, whatever the higher education funding council and whatever the educational department and the research program that should support the research into the impact of established initiatives. Should be an impact of the established initiatives to the and importance attached to the elements of the employability by the students, graduate and the employers. Now these are the recommendation to the CSU and the other higher education sector agencies. Now next is a recommendation to the institution, that is we can say the advice for the various institutions. So institutions must develop a strategic institution-wide approach to the employability. So there must be a strategic approach to the employability, ensuring that a very senior manager has overall responsibility. So there is a responsibility that is in the hand of the senior most manager and the institution must develop a strategic approach to the employability that is provided by the senior management that has a overall responsibility for the institutions. Then institutions should develop a holistic approach that facilitating the linking together of different aspects of the employability. So whatever the approach, whatever the content that is used, so institutions should develop a holistic approach, should develop an approach that facilitates the linking together of different aspects of employability. That link together, what are the various aspects of employability that link together, that is provided by the institution approach. Then the next recommendation is that the excellent work to embed employability enhancement in curriculum should be continued. So whatever the excellent work that should be embed employability or that should be used for the higher employability, that must be enhanced, that should be continued. This might be facilitated through revising course structure, curriculum content and teaching method, and ensuring staff are supported through this process. So every staff of the institution should be supporting the employability skills, should be supporting the employability content. Then if the students are to take employability in the curriculum, so if the students are to or have to take the employability in the curriculum seriously, so institutions should consider including it in the assessment and grading process. So whatever the grading process, whatever the curriculum criteria that is used with the institution, that should consider that is used with the assessment and the grading process. The next is work experience either as a part of the program of study or as an external extracurriculum activity should be reorganized in the same way and formally accredited wherever possible. So whatever the work experience that is a part of the program of study or the external work experience that is used, that should be recognized in some way and the formally accredited wherever it is possible. And the National Council for the Workplace is a major source of expertise in this area. So whatever the National Council that is used for the workplace, that is used for the work experience, that is a major source of enterprise in this area. Then next is, it is essential to give students structured support to learn from the experiences. So it is essential to give the student, that is a support to the student to learn from the different experiences, that is experience in terms of faculties, experience in terms of teachers, employers, anything that is a prior experience, and to record their learning, preferably to the integrated personal development planning process. For example, within a progress file. That is the recording of the work experience, recording of the structured learning, that is to record their learning, that is also used with the integrated approach, integrated personal development planning processes, that is used, for example, the progress file that is used for the proper planning methods. The next is, institutions are encouraged to identify, so this is also the responsibility of the institution that is used to identify what are the various ways of maximizing the effectiveness of links. So what are the various ways that is used to effective the links, or what are the various ways to maximize the effectiveness of the links with the employer. So there should be a proper linking, or there should be a proper links that is maintained, that is the effectiveness of the links with the various employers. So identify the ways of maximizing the effectiveness of links with the employer, that should be provided by the institutions. Then next is, institutions should collect evidence of the importance of the efforts to enhance the employability. So whatever the institution that should collect, or whatever the evidence that is collected by the employer, that should, or that have a responsibility, or that have an impact of the effort to enhance the employability. This needs to be ongoing rather than the one-off evaluation of a specific process. So whatever the content that is used, that should be ongoing project that is used rather than the one-off evaluation of a specific project. And the impact assessment might involve the consultant with the employers and the alumni. The next point is, institutions should exchange the information about their experiences of employability development initiative to avoid duplication of effort. So whatever the effort that is provided by the institution, that is in favor of the employees, in favor of the student, not in favor of the other employees. Then next is recommendation to the employers and their representative bodies. So what are the various recommendations, what are the various, we can say, the what are the various criteria that must be used to the employers and their respective bodies. So first is em employers, employer representative bodies, professional bodies, and alumni should participate in efforts to enhance the employability of the higher education student. So whatever the wherever or whosoever is used, for example, the employers, for example, the employer representation schemes or employer representation bodies, professional bodies, and alumni should participate in efforts to enhance the employability of the higher education student. So whoever the higher education student, that must be used, that must be enhance the employability of the higher education students. Then next is employers should participate in ongoing evaluation of the impact of the efforts. That the employer should participate in the ongoing evaluation. That is, what is the ongoing evaluation that is used, that is also impacted the student, that also impact to enhance the employability. So first point says the whatever the employer, whatever the we can say the employers or the employer representative bodies that is used, professional bodies and the alumni should participate in the effort. So they combine, they individually put an effort to enhance, to increase the employability of the higher education institution. So it's the responsibility of them, either working the individual, either work with the group, or either they can collect together to enhance the employability of the higher education institutions or higher education students. The next is employers should participate in ongoing evaluation of the impact of the efforts to enhance the employability. So employers should also participate in the ongoing evaluation of the impact of efforts. That is, the ongoing evaluation means the continuing evaluation of the impact of the efforts to enhance the employability. The next is employer should ensure So employers should ensure that their recruitment practices and criteria reflect the immediate requirement of the graduate line managers. That is not that employer should put the criteria that the student must be qualified the media related concept, media related we can say the course. That is not the recruitment process. So employer should ensure that the recruitment process and criteria reflect the immediate requirement of the graduate line manager, so that the every graduate who have a proper qualification should recruit or should appear for the interview that is used with the employability criteria. So employer should ensure that the recruitment practices and the criteria reflect the immediate recruitment of the graduates, line manager, and the longer term strategic view of senior managers. Recruitment practices should be compatible or should also be compatible with the principle of the equality of the opportunity for all the students. So whatever the whosoever the recruitment practices, that should be compatible with the principle of equality of opportunity for all the students. The requirement or the recruitment practices should be compatible with for the all the students, that is opportunity for all the students. There is no partiality among the students that is using the employability skills. So that should be so it should be a proper equality of the opportunity for all the students, regardless of the social or ethnic background. So regardless of the background, regardless of their caste, their background, gender, age, or disability, every candidate that is coming for the interview, that so employer should take the every employee as a common or as a same, regardless, or there should not be a partiality among the age, among the criteria, among the gender, or the disability. No. In particular, there should be a general awareness of the needs of the non-traditional student who may be disadvantaged in the labor market. So that is our next recommendation and the most important recommendation, that the employer should ensure their recruitment practices and criteria that reflect the immediate requirement, that should use the line manager, and there is no casteism, there is no, we can say, the differentiate among the various employees, among the various candidates, among the various undergraduate student or the graduate students. Next recommendation is industry leaders should ensure that the public debates on the graduate employability are informed by the up to date. So whatever the update, whatever the content, whatever the we can say the criteria that must be updated to the student, that must be updated to the various graduate student, that is every information should be updated on the website, that is the up to date information is available, and the accurate data that is also available on the actual requirement of the employers on the attribute offered by the graduate. No. So that is the industry leaders should ensure that the public debates on the graduate employability are informed by the up to date and accurate data both on the requirement of the employers and the attribute that is offered by the graduates. So whosoever is using the industry, that is the industry leader, that ensure about the public debates on the graduate employability, that should be informed about the up-to-date and the accurate data that is available with the or that is used with the both the actual requirement of the employers and the attribute that is offered by the graduates. So this is the point that says that the industry leader should ensure the graduate employability and must be informed of up-to-date information, that is the information should be updated or that must provide the up-to-date information both on the actual requirement of the employers or the accurate the graduate that is available with the graduates. Now next is the 26 point, that is the next recommendation to the employers and their representative bodies. So the professional bodies and or the employer should ensure that their membership recruitment for the student, that is their membership recruitment means they are tie up with the university, they are tie up with the employers, that their membership recruitment for the student and graduates are compatible with the principles of social inclusion and the efforts to widen participation in the higher education. That is their participation should be widened or their participation should be compatible with the principles of the social inclusion and the efforts to widen the participation in the higher education. So whatever the institution that is used, whatever the criteria that is used, that is compatible with the principles of the social institutions inclusion and the efforts to widen the participation in the higher education. So professional bodies must ensure their partnership recruitment, must ensure about their partnership recruitment for the students that must be compatible with the students' capability. And to widen the participation in the higher education trust, to participate so that the student can participate with each other within the higher education. So that's the recommendation to the employers and their recommended bodies. Now this is the end notes of this module of this non-module of this module book. The first is the research is not a comprehensive audit of all the institutions in the UK. So the content, we can say the research that is not a comprehensive audit that is available in all the institutions in the UK, but it provides an indication of the range of the activities to be found in this sector. So that is a comprehensive audit that is available with the institution in the UK. So that is not a comprehensive audit, but it also provides an indication of the range of the activities that is found in the sector. And there are many summaries that include like CBC, that is the Harvey with Green and the Harvey et al. And the FSW. Then third point says a joint implementation group has taken forward to the 6 Harris recommendation that were addressed to the sector as a whole. So whatever the address, whatever the criteria that is used, that is addressed as a whole, that provides the opportunity for the higher education institutions that were addressed to the sector as a whole and will publish the guidance on the core activities or the core services for the students, graduate and the employers. Then next is many courses include academic projects which help to develop the research and the presentation skills. So many courses are available that includes academic projects which help to develop the research and the presentation skills, and these should be differentiated from the live employer projects which are less common, and they involve students working directly on a project of concern to an employer, and these may be undertaken during the period of the work experience. So whatever the work experience, whatever the criteria that is used, that is undertaken to store on the data object that is submitted in the work experiences, learning and can be used as a substitute for a higher education work experience placement, that is a work experience placement. Next point says some students got limited work experience through structured courses that is offered by the private organization. So some student get the limited work experience, so some student gets the limited work experience with the structured courses. So whatever the structured courses that is used, that is offered by the private organization. So some student get the limited work experience to structured courses that is offered by the private organizations. However, it is unlikely that this includes many students who are not getting the experience through other routes. So it is unlikely that this includes that many students can get, or many students who are not getting the experience through the other routes. So some students get limited work experience through the structured courses that is offered by the private organizations. The next is research source include, that is the Dennell, Barclays, calendar and the camp. So these are the various provisions, or these are the various resource sources that include in this book, or in this module book. Next is sources include the calendar, Conner, Metcalf, Bakke, calendar, camp, and these are the sources that is also included. And the result of the study are based on the aggregated figure. So there is that is the aggregated figure that is also used in this module book. That is also the part that is the result of the study that are based on the accredited figure. So whatever the figure that is used, whatever the content that is used with the accredited figure. And the first destination return, that is the FDRs, are collected only 6 months after the graduation, and the employment rates are used, and the employment criteria are used for the employment content, and they may not reflect the long-term pattern in the subject area. That the employment rates may not reflect the long-term pattern that is used with the subject area that is used with the employment content. And the reliability of FDR is dependent on the accurate returns from the institution. So whatever the FDR, whatever the reliability of the FDR, that is dependent on the accurate return. That is what is accurate return that is used with the accurate return that is used with the institutions. Furthermore, it is not possible to identify whether graduates are employed in their career of choice or in relatively unskilled position. That is, whatever the career, whatever the graduate that is used with the employability skills within the higher education. And subject taught only a full-time basis, only on a full-time basis, or the thing with basis, or with a small number of sandwich students were removed for these courses. 10th, the work experience report that shows a widening of the work experience that raises 4 kinds of issues. One is assessment, one is the making the work experience equivalent to the non-work experience, then assessing the development of a range of the activities, then shifting the emphasis to give the student more opportunity and responsibility to develop as an independent learner. So these are the 4 approaches, these are the 4 kinds of issues that is used around the assessment. One is the assessment of to make the work experience. One is making the work experience equivalent to the non-work experience, then assessing the development of the range of the activities, then shifting the emphasis to give the student more frequently or opportunity and the responsibility to develop an independent learner. And these are the various references to this book, that is the AISCS, Black Course, Bennett. These are also the Department for the Education and Employment, that is a DFEE, then the Chancer, then Department for Education and the Skills. These are the KITTS, that is 2002, that is also issued, that is also one of the URL that is provided. Then LTSN, that is the Learning and Teaching Support Network, that is one of the important network that is provide the employability. This site is available for the tech teaching and the support network. Then these are the National Council for the Work Experience, that is the NCWE. Then NSLP, that is the National Student Learning Principle. Then QAA, that is the most important, that is the Quality Assurance Agency for the Higher Education and various practices. These are the various, another example, that is the Walker L, University of the East London, that is a UEL. Then these are the various abbreviations that is used in this book. AEAGSCAS, that is Association of Graduate Career Advisory Services. Then CBI, that is a Confederation of the British Industry. Then CUSU, that is a Coventry University Student Union, that provides the benefits to the student, that is a Coventry or Coventry University Student Union. Then General Household Survey. Then LTSN, that is a Learning and Teaching Support Network. Liverpool Student Community Action, that is LSCA. Then the QA, that is the Quality Assurance Agency. These are the various, we can say the abbreviation that is used in this. In this we can say the section, that is section in this whole module, that is a various example. Now this is the acknowledgement. This is the acknowledgement of various parties that is used with this concept or this with this module. These are the various recommendations. This is the project team that is work with this one. This is the case study contact. These are the various persons to whom we are contacted. These are the various names. So that's all for this, we can say the book. On Monday I will share with you another PPTs that also shows the employability and the professional development, and that is the last PPT for this module. So there is no time to start with the new PPTs, so I'm winding the class over here only. I know some time is left, but that is not the enough time for starting the new PPTs. So that's all for today's session. In the Monday's class I am taking your next, we can say the next PPT of this module, that is employability and the professional development. So thanks a lot everyone for listening me, and if there is any doubt you can ask the doubt from me, and any clarification you can ask the doubt, because there is enough time today for the clarifications. So thanks a lot everyone. Bye bye.